The Calgary Flames have a serious problem revolving around forward Connor Zary and his underperformance to begin this season. Sure, the Flames have many more than one serious problem, and Zary isn't the only player who isn't playing up to expectations, but something has to give. What on earth should the Flames do? We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. Let's talk about this serious problem. Like I said in the intro, there's been a lot of problems to start the year for the Calgary Flames. You can't really just boil it down to one player in particular, or even, the management, the coaching, anything like that. It's a lot of things that aren't working. But something interesting was very posed in the Flames Reddit today, just a little bit earlier today. So one person just simply puts Connor Zary and then says, what do you guys think the future for Zary is? 2 points on the year with 1 goal in the season opener. There's your serious problem if you needed me to spell it out. I know he's coming off some knee injuries, but when is it time for him to watch a few from the press box? Which is an interesting take, already saying, hey, maybe Zary needs to sit out a little bit. We have seen other guys sit out certain games. Obviously, Perek before he got hurt. We saw Coronato sit out, Sharangovich. And so that's an interesting solution. Now, for people who aren't familiar, maybe you don't watch the games as much, yeah, the production is down for sure. This is Zary's stats for the season so far this year. So in 17 games, he has 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 points, which, no one can sugarcoat it. That's abysmal. That's not good enough. The one thing, though, is that the time on ice, he's only getting roughly 13 and a half minutes per game, and lately it's been even less than that. So, yeah, he's not producing, but maybe he's not being put in the best opportunity to. He's obviously not playing any top 6 minutes, sometimes gets some power play time, sometimes doesn't. So, overall, it is interesting. I'm pretty sure his goal was way back in the first game of the season, so it's not good. A -4 on the year, obviously not fantastic. He's been playing center lately, 41.6 face-off percentage, not good enough either. But this post had a lot of people talking and a lot of people saying a lot of sensible things, which is great. Often fan bases say a lot of things that make no sense and have zero validity, but so many people were saying good things here. So one person says, honestly, I think the way the season started so catastrophically, a lot of guys are just utterly snake bitten and their confidence is rocked. Chalk it up to the wheels. Chalk it up to the wheels fell off, and hopefully we see it through for a top pick, then rebound. So that guy's kind of saying, yes, maybe Zary's a little bit snake bitten, and let's be honest, for a lot of the guys on the team, the season has started catastrophically, especially when it comes to those offensive numbers, the production numbers. Another person says, maybe, just maybe, the team has way too many middle 9 forwards. Maybe they meant middle 6 or bottom 9. But either way, maybe, just maybe, the team has way too many middle 9 forwards, and playing him as a 4C around 11 to 12 minutes a night with inconsistent line mates that are offensive black holes is not good for his development. I'm not saying he's been good or that it's not his fault, but he's clearly not being put in a position to succeed because the team refuses to address their logjam of mediocre forwards. And that is so true. Someone replied to that saying, our lines are an absolute mess, man. You're exactly right. That's what happens when you have a team full of middle 9 forwards. Seriously, need to move a few vets. And it is true. The Flames really, when it comes down to it, don't have a superstar forward. Yes, we have all-stars or, former all-stars we can say about guys like Huberdeau. Kadri was fantastic last year and that kind of thing, but they won't be top forwards on other teams or on a lot of other teams. It really is a logjam of just mid forwards, and that's honestly how it is. So Zary is stuck in that logjam for sure. Another person says a long one here. They say, I wonder watching Zary if he's not wary to try some of the stuff that's led to his success in previous years because of his injuries. He seems a lot more hesitant to try and dangle around guys and cut to the middle of the ice. That's true. We saw that when he was younger. Think of the first game last year against Vancouver. He continues by saying, I don't know if he'll be that player again, but last game on the 4th line, he played a really simple, effective game that I was happy with until he can get that swagger back and start showing us actual offensive prowess. I think 20 to 30 points is all we can expect from him if he doesn't manage to elevate himself out of that 4th line. And that's so true. I mean, right now, he's not on pace for 20 to 30 points, but if he can get himself out of that fourth line, it's true. I do think Huska needs to get him in a top six role soon at some point to try and get him going. We don't want another Bennett situation on our hands where we don't see what a player was truly capable of because they were constantly forced into a checking role. We're all too familiar with what happened with Sam Bennett. Of course, he went on to become a star, win the Stanley Cup multiple times. Conn Smythe, Four Nations face-off stud, all of that. We don't need that again with Zary. Another person says, Huska is completely over-coaching. He should be giving the young players more opportunity and better spaces. Instead, he sends them to the press box and cutting his ice time to center the fourth line. He had 11 minutes and 40 seconds against the Sharks. The Sharks were putting up a terrible performance, and somehow the talented kid we are hoping turns into a top six guy gets 11 minutes. One of the reasons that I'm so antsy to get Sharangovich waived and trading Coleman and Kadri is that I want Zary to get a more defined role for the rest of the year. Give him the third line center or winger on Frost line and tell him he's going to just be playing there. That helps, obviously, really find a role, get your feet on the ground, and obviously, maybe build some chemistry with the lines essentially changing pretty much every single game that we see, which is it is difficult, especially for a guy who he just got his contract. He really wants to show out, I suppose, and show that he's worth that contract. It has been difficult, but that's true. A lot of people are blaming Huska, his line changes, and kind of where he puts people in the lineup at this point. One final opinion here, another long one. So this person says, my opinion is that he's getting the Sam Bennett treatment. There it is again. Shuffled around all the time, not on any given line on a consistent basis, with clear flashes of talent and skating ability. As much as I like Huska, he does overcoach, and I do not like how often he switches up lines. I understand the coach is trying to find goals, but switching things up all the time, I believe, leads to no chemistry. There's a reason why Bax and Coleman play so well, because they are the only two to have been stuck together the whole time. And they have been for years now. Think of Andrew Mangiapane was on that line. We saw Coronato on that line so much last year, Hanzik this year. Now this season is already a loss, so why not throw Hanzik, Zary, Coronato as a line for a good chunk and see what the kids are made of. Even if they stink, let them play through it. Zary is clearly frustrated out there. And it's true. I mean, the Flames stink anyway, so what's the point? Or what's the harm, I suppose? My second opinion is that the Flames have too many middle six forwards with four centermen, Kadri, Frost, Bax, Zary, who are 2Cs or 3Cs. Two of them are playing in a position they shouldn't be, whether that's top line or bottom line. And it just calls back to the whole situation of playing players where maybe they're not suited to play, trying to overcoach a little bit, and just having this logjam of mid to, less than mid forwards, which isn't exactly fantastic. But it is a serious problem that the Flames have, and hopefully they can get Zary going because this season has been really bad for him. Last thing we want is for him to have zero confidence or worse, be like a lot of other players in the past and want to move on. Now, let's get into tonight's game as we will get to see Connor Zary play. Maybe he'll get a point or two tonight. But the Flames play a late one on hockey night in Canada. This one goes at 8 p.m. at the Dome. They are hosting the Winnipeg Jets. Always fun when a Canadian opponent obviously comes to our barn and gets to play. And it should be an exciting one for sure. The lineup tonight is not too different from what we've seen lately, but top line, Huberdeau, Frost, Coronato. A second line of Cairns, Kadri, and Farabee. Great to see Cairns still in that top six role. Hanzik, Backlund, Coleman, of course, still together. And then Lomberg, Zary. There's the fourth line center again with Klapka. Ball, Andersson, Kuznetsov, Weegar, Bean, Pahal, and Wolf is your starter. Once again, I swear he's going to start pretty much every single game this entire year. But it is good that Weegar is good to go. I know he had a bit of a maintenance day, but it seems like he will be all good to go for tonight. But interesting to see, maybe, just maybe, Zary will get to move up in the lineup at some point tonight. But again, that might just be wishful thinking. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. Comes from yesterday's video, of course. And this was a good one here from Flames First. They said, I want us to get picks and prospects back in a trade. Even if it's a mid-return, it would still be better than adding another mediocre middle six forward into the mix. There is that theme again. Coleman, Frost, Farabee, one of those guys needs to go. Some people would argue more than one of them needs to go. But it is true. There's just too much mediocrity in the Flames lineup, especially offensively in the forward core. So it would be good to, no matter what, if we are trading players away, maybe it can free up some roster spots for some younger guys who will be better than just mid forwards one day. But again, that might be wishful thinking as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.